Hi there, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Rebecca from Rouse In The House, and today I'm super excited because I'm going to share with you some ways that you can completely transform some of your Christmas and winter pieces with just a few of Amy Howard's pieces. And I'm going to show you a few different examples, and these are things that you could find at the dollar store, at the thrift store, maybe things that you already own that you just want to update, and even bits of nature. And the finish is absolutely beautiful with just a few products. So, and keep in mind that all of these processes that we're going to do today are actually furniture finishes. So you could do any of these combinations on furniture pieces, from a nightstand to a chest of drawers, or just little embellishments on some of your bigger pieces, however you want to do it, because they are furniture finishing products. So let me show you. First up, we're going to be using the wax, and then I'm going to turn you around to look at some of these mica powders to get a better look. This is the color Deep Gold, and she has several other colors that are absolutely stunning. Okay, so first up is Pearl. Can you see that? Oh my gosh, look at that reflect. That is gorgeous. So that's the Pearl. This one's Copper Penny. Can you see the gold reflect in that? It's even prettier in person. I think I'm under some shadows right here. This one is Deep Gold. Yeah. Oh, you can see it on the rim there. Can you see how it's reflecting and dazzling on the rim? And then this one's Bright Bronze. Gorgeous. And she has a few other colors, I think 2 or 3 that I don't have. So now let me go grab the piece and we'll get going. Okay, to start the process, I'm going to start on a nativity. Have you seen nativities like this? Very classic. Now what I actually started by doing is removing all the pieces, and a lot of them were glued down, so I had to soak them in a cleaning solution to get that off. I soaked them in a dilution of Simple Green. So I'm going to take a color called Bauhaus Buff of One Step. Have you used this color? It's an awesome color. It's a beautiful white. And I'm just going to use a small brush to paint it on. Now, if you're using, if you're going to do a bigger piece, just use a regular brush. But this is such a small piece that I'm really using more of an artist paintbrush. Then once you get it painted as you like it, then just let it dry, and then we'll move on to step 2. I'm going to take a lint-free cloth and just dab it just barely in there, and then I'm just going to wipe it over. Can you see how it kind of gives the textures? See these lines on the back? See how that really makes those show up? That's basically what I'm going for, so you can see the dimension. You don't really have to do this step, but it's just something I wanted to do to help the dimension show through. And it definitely does not have to be perfect. So as soon as this dries, then we get to do the fun part. While that dries, I'm going to mix up some wax. You'll want to get the squeezable wax so you can make this. And you're just going to use, sorry, I don't know if it's, so squeeze that a little bit. Actually, that was probably way too much. It's hard for me to talk and walk at the same time. So this mixture, I'm going to use a little bit of the Deep Gold, just a little, and a little bit of the Pearl. Okay, can you see that in there? And then I'm just going to stir it up and mix it in well. Now, there's the shade that's pretty much equal parts of pearl and deep gold, but I want to add in just a little tiny bit of copper. Okay, so I'm going to add in just a dash. See that? Just a dash. Where's my lid? Oh, yeah. Okay, and we're going to mix that in. I don't know if you can see that, but can you see what a beautiful color that is? Now comes the fun part. So I'm going to take this mixture that we made right here and just paint it on. And you know what? I think I'm going to add a little bit more pigment. I think this is not quite as saturated as I made it before. So I'm going to add in a little bit of the gold. And a little bit of the pearl. See how pretty that is? Okay, we'll mix that in. So I just wanted to add, remember that these colors are customizable. You could add more of the bronze, more of the copper, less of the gold. There's so many different ways you can get this to look. And remember, this is furniture wax, so it's going to be nicely protected after we get done here. And here's a close-up of how that turned out. It's just the most beautiful metallic finish. This is so on trend. I've seen nativities sets similar to this that go for a lot of money, and you could do so many sets with the amount of mica powder that you get. Look how sweet that is. Isn't that so pretty? And that was with the exact same combination. I think there was a little bit less copper when I used this one, so pretty much a mix of the pearl and the deep gold. So I absolutely love this finish. I've seen some very similar to this that were very pricey. And this just took really like 3 products. And you can transform your nativity. Next up, I want to show you another simple DIY using pine cones. So how you can transform your basic pine cone from this to this. And basically, you'll just clean up some pine cones. Hopefully you have some in your area, and dry brush them with the Bauhaus Buff. See how it kind of gives it a snowy effect? And then I mixed up some wax with the pearl, and it gave it a really, I don't think the camera's really picking it up, but it's really beautiful in person. And it'd also be awesome with the diamond dust. That is a gorgeous mica powder with a kind of a silvery reflect. So you should try that with that. And then let's go in and I'll show you some ideas of how you could use pine cones like that. Okay, and for our last project, I wanted to talk about brass bells. Have you seen the brass bells in the Christmas and winter decor? They're absolutely stunning, and they can be used on your stair railing, and a wreath, hanging down from a mantle. And last year I tried to purchase them, but every time they came back in stock, they went out of stock super fast. So if you'd like to have some brass bells and can't find them, or maybe you just want to save money, I have a great dupe for you. So I found these plastic bells at Dollar Tree. So let's flip around and talk about how we can transform those. So I went ahead and I painted this bell. This one was slightly different, but it was also from Dollar Tree. I went ahead and I painted it in the Windsor. And then I'm just going to paint on some of the wax. And once you start painting, you'll see it's really therapeutic. And you can put it on heavy, you can put it on light. It's really up to you. And even if you do put it on heavy, then sometimes you can go back and kind of wipe it away. That's something that Amy shows in some of her tutorials. So we're just gonna keep painting. So this was also that mixture of gold and pearl with a tiny bit of copper.
Mom, should I do orange, green, or blue?
Green.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you had fun DIYing with us this afternoon. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them down in the comment section, and I will definitely try to get back with you there. Also, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Rouse in the _house. So until then, happy DIYing.